It was a cold winter evening when Sarah, a waitress at a small-town diner, noticed the man stumbling into the restaurant. The heavy snowfall outside had already created a quiet, isolated atmosphere, and the diner was nearly empty, save for a few regulars sipping on hot coffee. Sarah glanced up, wiping down the counter, when a frail figure appeared in the doorway, his face pale and drawn, his clothes torn. He collapsed before she could reach him. "Is he okay?" Sarah asked, rushing over with the usual instinct to help. A group of strangers quickly followed, one of them a paramedic who knelt beside the man, taking immediate action. "We need blood, type O negative," the paramedic said urgently. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. She had always known that being O negative made her a universal donor, but it had never occurred to her that it could be needed in a moment like this. The man was barely breathing, his skin almost translucent, and the sense of panic was palpable. "I can donate," Sarah said, her voice firm despite the rising uncertainty inside her. Without thinking, she sat down, preparing for the donation. The paramedic nodded, grateful for her willingness. As the needle went in, Sarah couldn't help but feel connected to this stranger. His life was now in her hands, and even though she barely knew anything about him, she felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility. She stayed at the hospital long after her shift, ensuring the man was stable, but as the hours ticked by, she felt the weight of the moment. Who was he? What was his life like? Was he someone important? She couldn't shake the feeling that, in that moment, her world had changed. Yet, she couldn't know how deeply it had truly shifted. The following days were quiet. Sarah tried to return to her usual routine. Long shifts at the diner, serving food, making tips, and dreaming of a life bigger than the small town she lived in. But the memory of that night haunted her, especially when she saw the man's face in her mind. Her thoughts were preoccupied with him, even though she knew nothing of his past, his family, or his life. It was a few days later, just as the diner was about to close, that her life would change forever. A sleek black car pulled up outside the diner, its design too refined for the quiet street. The engine purred to a stop, and Sarah barely had time to process what was happening before the car door opened. A tall, well-dressed man stepped out, his dark suit perfectly tailored. His confidence filled the space as he made his way toward the diner. "Excuse me, are you Sarah?" he asked, his voice calm and deep, drawing her attention. She blinked, startled. "Yes, I'm Sarah. How can I help you?" Her mind raced, but she couldn't place him. "My name is Liam," he said, walking closer. "You saved my life a few nights ago. I owe you more than I can explain." Sarah felt her heart race as the recognition hit her. The man from the hospital, the one she had helped. He was standing right in front of her. She stammered, looking at him in disbelief. "You're the one I donated blood to." Liam nodded, his smile warm but with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. "Yes, and I'll never forget what you did for me. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you." His eyes softened as he continued. "I want to repay you, Sarah." Before she could respond, Liam pulled out a small envelope and slid it toward her across the counter. Sarah hesitated for a moment, confused and overwhelmed. Slowly, she opened it. The check inside made her stomach drop. It was an amount far larger than any sum she had ever seen in her life. Her hands shook as she stared at the figures on the check. I can't accept this," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. Liam's smile remained steady, unwavering. "I know you didn't do it for money, but you gave me a second chance at life. You deserve more than just a thank you. Please take it, Sarah. It's the least I can do." But Sarah didn't take the check. She couldn't. This was beyond anything she had ever imagined. Liam leaned in closer, his voice lowering as if sharing a secret. "But that's not all I want to offer you," he said, his gaze intense. "I'm offering you more than just money. I want to offer you a proposal, Sarah, something that could change both of our lives." Sarah blinked, unsure of what he meant. "A proposal?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Liam nodded, a glimmer of something more in his eyes. "Yes. What you did for me? I want to see if we can build something together, something bigger than either of us." Her heart pounded in her chest. Was this a joke? Was this some elaborate prank? He was a billionaire, she was a waitress. But Liam wasn't laughing. He was serious, his gaze steady and unwavering. I don't know what to say," Sarah said, her mind spinning. Liam's smile deepened, but his eyes held a quiet intensity. "Say yes, Sarah. You've already changed my life. Let me show you how much you mean to me." Sarah stood frozen, her mind racing. Liam's words hung in the air, and she couldn't fully process what he was offering. A proposal? From a billionaire she had unknowingly saved? It was hard to believe, but his calm, sincere gaze made her question everything. "Please, Sarah," Liam continued, his voice gentle but firm. "I want to offer you more than just money. I want to offer you a chance, an opportunity to change your life." Sarah looked down at the check in front of her, her heart pounding. The sum was beyond anything she could comprehend. I can't accept this," she stammered. Liam smiled, his eyes full of admiration. "I know you didn't do it for money, but you've given me something invaluable. My life. I want to repay you. Let me help you build a future." His words struck deep. Sarah had always dreamed of something more, but this was beyond her wildest imagination. She'd spent so many years working hard in the diner, scrimping and saving for a better life, but now it felt like the life she'd been chasing had appeared in front of her, ready to be taken. "I don't know if I'm the right person for this," Sarah whispered, doubt creeping in. What did she know about a world so far removed from her own? How could she belong to it? Liam's expression softened, as though he could read her thoughts. "It's not about being right. It's about having the heart to make a difference. You've already made one for me. I believe in you, Sarah." Sarah's mind was a whirlwind. She had worked so hard her whole life, and now this world, a billionaire, an opportunity, was laid before her. Could she step into this new life? Or was it too much? Could she leave the life she knew, the people who depended on her, for a chance at something she never dreamed was possible? Liam stood, his voice calm but filled with purpose. "Take your time, but I believe in you, Sarah." As Liam left, Sarah remained still, the weight of the decision pressing down on her. She wasn't ready to decide yet, but she knew one thing. Everything was about to change.